let's get started. Universal Studios Japan Mario World has become a hot theme park for Mario fans around the world, and with Donkey Kong Country opening soon, maybe even by the time you're watching this video, it's easy to see why it's so popular and how it can be hard to gain entry, as entry to this area is timed. So how do you get your tickets? To enter the very popular Mario World area at Universal Studios Japan in Osaka, you will need a ticket to the park itself, which typically go on sale 2 months prior to your visit. And you will then need a timed entry slot for Super Mario Land in addition to your entry ticket. There are 2 ways to gain access to Super Mario World, either arriving at the park early and being among some of the first to enter and run, and yes, I mean run. This is what you need to do to get to Nintendo World if you don't have a fast pass. Because once it's reached capacity, a timed entry system will be put into place, and this happens very quickly. You can also pay extra for the early entry pass to enter the park 15 minutes earlier so that you can really get ahead of the crowds. But for me and my group of friends, we opted for an express pass which included timed entry to Super Mario plus the main rides to Super Mario Land. Yes, this is a pricey option, but it meant peace of mind and no running around. And what I loved about this pass is that you can choose the attractions you want from the list, choosing the timings in advance, which will create a plan for you to keep to whilst you're at the park. We personally used Klook to purchase our tickets, and it was super easy to put our perfect Universal Studios day together. I highly recommend it. Yes, souvenir from Super Mario World. Okay, once you are in Super Mario World, you don't have an allocated time to leave, but you must remember that if you do have an express pass, you need to keep to these timings. And unlike Disney's Fantasy Springs, you have the option to queue up for free, even though from my experience, the queues for Super Mario World attractions are insane. So we really did save a lot of time by having these fast passes. Super Mario World is quite unique because the world itself is interactive at a price, I must add, because you need to purchase a power-up band to give you the ultimate experience in Super Nintendo World, allowing you to complete tasks and collect coins. This was so much fun. I actually have a tip for you future travelers wanting to buy the band. You won't be able to purchase this band until you are in the timed entry area of Super Mario Land, and most people tend to queue up to purchase the band at the very first stall. But if you walk closer, just a little bit away to the warp pipes, you'll find a less busy store selling these, from my experience anyway. Okay, food and drink. The themed Mario area has a few options for food and snacks, but they also require a timed entry reservation. And from our experience, it feels nearly impossible to gain access to, and there seems to be a lottery style system in place via a QR code. I think that Kinopio's Cafe, or the Toadstool Cafe, is totally worth the visit. It's probably one of the best themed restaurants from any of the parks, its centerpiece being the warp pipe and the themed food that had a lot of attention to detail and was also delicious. This makes a restaurant an unforgettable experience, and I'd be happy to return to. We made it to Kinopio's Cafe, and just a few little tips. Number 1, there's gonna be a huge queue, and I've watched countless videos and vlogs about this place, and a lot of vlogs tell you to miss this place because it's impossible to get through or it takes a very long time. But there's a QR code that you scan. When you scan the QR code, you get to a reservation, like a page, and it will give you a time slot that might be like hours and hours in the future. But what you can do is once you're in that page, is just refresh, until hopefully eventually you'll get a time slot that suits you. That's exactly what my friend did. She's very lucky, and we were able to get a time slot that was literally 15 minutes in front of us. So we only waited 15 minutes to come to this restaurant. One of the themed restaurants here the only themed restaurant I believe here in Mario World. So don't give up, give it a go. I mean, obviously give yourself a time limit. You don't want to be like all day like refreshing, but it's definitely worth a try, and it's something that I haven't seen or heard any other YouTubers explain or mention. Maybe it's a new thing, maybe it was just pure chance and luck, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if you've had any luck doing it this way. I purchased mine and my friend's Universal Studio tickets before they reached out to sponsor this video. So yes, today's video is sponsored by Klook, and I'm also so glad that I used Klook to book both Team Labs Planets and Borderless tickets in advance, because these attractions are constantly selling out. And as a pro tip when you're traveling around Japan, use Klook to skip your queues. You can literally skip the queue like we've just what we've just done right now. We went onto the app, we bought our tickets there and then, got the QR code basically instantly, and we're through in like what? How long?
2 minutes?
2 minutes. Klook is available in multiple languages and in your local currency, and their prices can't be beat. So happy birthday to Klook, because they're celebrating their 10th birthday, and to commemorate this occasion they are launching a massive birthday sale throughout October, which features thousands of activities and discounts. So sign up for Klook today by using the link below or the QR code to purchase those tickets that you are likely going to purchase anyway, whilst at the same time help the channel out. Download the Klook app on your phone, it only takes a minute, and you can start booking your next travel destination. Let's go. DisneySea. Everyone wants to go to DisneySea's new Fantasy Springs, which is an expansion that brings to life iconic Disney stories and features immersive attractions, themed dining and vibrant landscapes inspired by Frozen, Tangled and Peter Pan. But the problem is that you need timed entry tickets to enter this area, which in my opinion was quite complicated to get my head around, but hopefully I can make this easier for you to understand. So this is what I've learned. To enter this new area, you will need a ticket to DisneySea itself. These tickets usually go on sale 2 months before the date of entry, and it's actually quite straightforward to purchase from the official website, app, or Disney partners like Klook. Once you've purchased your tickets, the first thing you should do is download and install the Disney Resort app, because this will become your guide and help you manage and access timed entry to the new Disney area and rides. So best you do this before you go. So how do you actually enter the new Fantasy Springs area? For the time being, there are limited time entry slots available, and once these run out, you simply won't be able to gain access. And to apply for timed entry, you need to physically be in the park. This is after scanning your entry tickets, going through the physical ticket gates. Maybe a little bit hardcore, but I did my research and my friend and I were actually queued up at the entry of DisneySea for 6:20 AM to make sure that we were among some of the first to enter the park. And as you can see, a lot of people also had the same idea. Bearing in mind that there are limited entry spots to the new area and that you can only apply for them once you're checked into the park, I'm glad we did it this way. And for your information, the gates officially open at 9 AM, but they started to let people in just a little bit before 8 AM when I visited. So once you are checked into the park, you will gain access to Disney's free standby pass and paid for premier access passes from the app to apply for your timed entry to specific attractions. You can hold one of each at the same time, and you can apply for or purchase a new one once you have used the app or after the allocated time slot has expired. I have 2 personal tips to give you from my experience, and number 1 being assign a party leader, and from within the app create a group by inviting others who are going to the park with you. This will mean that you can either book a standby pass or purchase a premier access ticket for everyone at the same time and ensure that you all ride together. Number 2, from our experience, the moment one member of a family or group checks into the park, they can start accessing and booking group members in, even if they're still in the process of entering the park. But the final booking can only be done once everyone is inside. This worked very well, but remember that you will be needing internet access for this. We managed to get access to the new Fantasy Springs area with a combination of free standby passes and purchase premier access. All in all, we were able to check off 2 out of the 3 new attractions. That was Rapunzel's Lantern Festival and Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure. And later on, we even returned for Fairy Tinkerbell's Busy Buggies. This meant that we were actually in and out of Fantasy Springs 3 times, traveling between the main DisneySea area and Fantasy Springs. It's important to note that you will need to manage your own time slots for the rides. For example, taking care that you have enough time to get between rides, especially if you're going to be exploring the rest of DisneySea, which you probably will do. This park is huge, bigger than you might expect. Once you are inside the Fantasy Springs area, there is no time limit, but you won't be able to simply queue up for other attractions, as for the time being, they all require a timed entry ticket. DisneySea and Fantasy Springs have various food options, from snack vendors scattered around the park to themed sit-down venues. We had a snack at the Lookout Cookout and the later lunch at the Snuggly Duckling. Both were amongst some of the best theme park food that I've ever had, but you will need to pre-order from the app using the Disney mobile order, where you can choose a pickup time slot, and surprisingly, we didn't have much of a problem finding a table to sit at either. An option for entering this area is also by staying overnight at participating Disney hotels, but I won't go into this entry method because if you're staying at a Disney hotel, you'll probably already know what to do, and I don't really have any personal first-hand experience either. Ghibli Park. Ghibli Park is a theme park unlike any I have ever been to, and although getting tickets is pretty straightforward, that doesn't mean that it's an easy feat. This park, located near Nagoya, is dedicated to the beloved works of Studio Ghibli, famous for films such as My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke, offering immersive experiences that transport visitors into the enchanting worlds created by director Miyazaki and his team. It's understandable why tickets constantly sell out. So how do you get your hands on tickets? I use the official international ticket website to purchase my tickets, and I know that you can purchase them via Lawson's and the Japanese website, but I'll only be speaking about my personal experience. This is important for you to know. The park offers two types of admission tickets: the Osampo Day Pass, which is missing access to some of the buildings, and the premium Osampo Day Pass, which includes all access, making it the more immersive ticket. Getting tickets to Ghibli Park really is a race against time, so be prepared to set an alarm because tickets go on sale 2 months in advance on the 10th at 2 p.m. Japan time, and they sell out really quick. I personally recommend the Osampu premium ticket because I've heard of people's disappointment of not being able to enter the beautiful themed buildings and characters' houses. These were among some of my highlights of the park. So make sure you know the ticket that you want to purchase once you are on the site on the 10th at 2 p.m. Japan time, 2 months ahead of your planned visit. Although it's easier to get tickets for the normal Osampo ticket, it's important to know that you will need to choose a timed entry for the Grand Warehouse, and if this is the only ticket you can afford or get access to, you'll probably want to allocate a good number of hours to the warehouse. And with the park closing at 4:30, this is something you might need to consider if, for example, the only slots available for the warehouse are at 3 p.m. Just one little thing, and that is that this is a timed entry. You're given a time limit of 2 hours, although I don't see how they can even police that, to be honest. And you probably need the full 2 hours to see everything. At a, I wouldn't say I've rushed things, but maybe I've rushed a little bit, if that makes any sense. But it's pretty cool. I had a premium pass with entry to the Grand Warehouse for 2 p.m. This worked out really well for me and my friend, as it was a really good opportunity to be out of the intense summer sun, explore most of the park, and have lunch before 2 p.m. and have enough time to check out most areas in the Grand Warehouse. Once you're in the park, you can use your phone to scan into the different immersive attractions and keep track of what you visited. I thought that this was a really well thought out system that gave flexibility and helps you manage your time. Interestingly, this theme park doesn't really have any rides as such and has some quite strict policies of where you can and cannot take photos inside of the exclusive areas. But what this does is puts you inside of a scene, encourages you to open drawers, flip through books, and really immerse yourself in the area with attention to detail that I've never ever seen or experienced before. It's kind of nice to not have to worry about looking at things through a lens and live in the moment, and I think that this park's policy does a good job of it. Ghibli Park has a number of stores and themed food stalls. We managed to get some yummy melon pan from the bakery, which had a great assortment of baked goods to choose from, and also ended up eating lunch at the Flying Oven, which was a good sit-down option with good themed foods and drinks. Personally, because of time constraints, I would have probably missed this occasion if I had to redo it, but I wanted to feature it in this video, so here we are. This meal was just for you. If you see that you're running out of time, my tip is you should know that there is a merch store outside of the park which remains open after the park's closed, so you can also get your hands on some awesome Ghibli goods. Obviously, it's always cool to check out the awesome merchandise in the park, but there is a merch store at the exit of the park, that you can actually check out. So you might start panicking, but you can still get some shopping in, right? So what are my thoughts about the free parks? I think this was a difficult one, but I'll try my best. By far, thanks to Klook and the Express Pass, Universal Studios was the easiest to organize and get tickets for. But Super Mario World was by far the most crowded out of the three parks. Trying to complete the power-up band challenges seemed impossible with very long queues. And as a result, I just can't see it being a good experience without the Express Pass, but please let me know what your experience has been in the past. So, for attractions, I give this an 8 out of 10. Because although there are multiple rides at Super Mario Land, Mario Kart is the one that stands out here, and if it wasn't for the queues to complete the power-up challenges, this would probably be a 9 out of 10. Attention to detail, I give it a 9 out of 10. It really does make you feel like you're in Super Mario World, and the restaurant was the best. And for food, I give this an 8 out of 10. There could be more food options in the Mario area. Crowds, unfortunately, it's a 4 out of 10, with 4 being the worst experience and 10 being the best experience. There were simply too many people in what felt like a smallish area, but maybe this will change once the Donkey Kong Country area opens. DisneySea's Fantasy Springs was a headache to figure out how to gain access to. Having to wake up so early in the morning in the hope that everything would go according to plan was a nightmare, but once you are in the area, I thought they did a very good job of keeping the area not too crowded. I would say that there was a good number of people to not make it feel overbearing, and the attractions here were amongst some of the best. So for attractions, I give this a 9 out of 10 because the new areas rides are quite impressive and immersive. For attention to detail, I give this a 9 out of 10 because it really did wow me. And for food, a 9 out of 10 because it's got amongst some of the best food options across all parks. Crowds, 7 out of 10, so not too bad. Ghibli Park. Okay, Ghibli Park is simply on a league of its own, but it might not be for everyone. This theme park with no rides might not be suitable for a younger audience that might be expecting adventurous rides, but is perfect for the curious Ghibli fan that wants to really immerse themselves in the many worlds Miyazaki has created. Other than the warehouse, which was the busiest area, but still not too overly crowded, Ghibli Park was by far the least crowded of the three parks, with the park's maximum daily capacity said to be around 5,000 people. It really is a park that takes the word theme to another level. Okay, attractions. I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10 because it really doesn't have rides as such, but wait a minute, because for attention to detail, I give this a 10 out of 10 because the attention to detail here is insane. The attention to detail is the ride in a sense. Food, 7 out of 10. In comparison to what the other parks had to offer, you know, it was okay. And crowds, a 10 out of 10 because crowd control is on another level. It really feels that you have the park mostly to yourself a lot of the time. So there you have it. But I have a question for you. Which one are you planning for?